Chapter 2: Speculation and Bias. Looking back now, it seems that there were numerous investment opportunities that I casually overlooked throughout my life. These moments, although subtle, carried crucial signals and presented valuable investment prospects. As I reflect on the moments I casually let slip away, I want to understand why I missed those good opportunities. The first stocks I bought when I opened my stock account were the company's own shares. Despite being a novice in stock investment, I felt confident about investing in the company because I knew the ins and outs of its business. In reality, $10,000 was a significant amount of money for me in 1999. The initial approach seemed promising a modest plan to invest only in what I knew well without getting greedy. If I had simply left those stocks untouched and engaged in long-term investment, they could have turned into a fantastic investment, multiplying many times over. However, I got caught up in the rising internet.com bubble of that time. Enticed by stories of people striking it rich by investing in cutting-edge ventures, I boldly disposed of stocks from a struggling company I owned and ventured into the hot market, starting a blind investment spree. I switched between various stocks, even dabbling in penny stocks in hopes of a windfall. But as the dot-com bubble burst, my account eventually turned into an empty shell. It was a tragedy born out of greed and ignorance. This incident had a profound impact on me. Stock investment was now perceived as a form of gambling that should be avoided at all costs, leading me to distance myself entirely from the market. The opportunity cost of this negative bias towards stock investment was far greater than the 10 million won I had lost. I chose to deliberately ignore the failure and live on as if it never happened. I was afraid of the stigma associated with stock market failure spreading, so I quietly abandoned stock investment. In 2006, while working as a resident in the U.S., I had the opportunity to visit Tesla in its early days. At that time, Tesla was a small venture company attempting something groundbreaking, building a high-performance electric car called the Roadster using cylindrical batteries commonly found in laptops. It was a novel idea to utilize affordable batteries for electronic devices instead of manufacturing expensive ones, specifically for cars. The CTO of Tesla even attended the meeting, explaining the feasibility of their ideas and generously demonstrating the electric car's acceleration, leaving a lasting impression. However, my report to the headquarters, focused on facts and cautiously proposing business development, was met with skepticism. Tesla was viewed as just another Silicon Valley venture, making toys for the wealthy. Despite the exciting potential, my interest waned as the headquarters showed little enthusiasm. Even when Tesla went public on NASDAQ later, and I had multiple opportunities for personal investment, my negative bias persisted. When the chance to switch to Tesla as a company presented itself, I hesitated. The fear of uncertainty associated with a venture company overshadowed my ability to recognize its potential and growth. Subsequently, every negative piece of information or rumor about Tesla reinforced my confirmation bias, preventing me from seeing the company's true worth. In 2007, instead of returning to Asia after completing my residency in the U.S., I decided to stay and was fortunate enough to land a job at Apple. This was the time when the first iPhone was just released. Having an insider's perspective, I understood Apple's situation well and witnessed the birth of the new smartphone market. Although the first iPhone was experimental, the second one was different. The introduction of the App Store marked a significant shift, creating a new business platform and ecosystem. At that moment, I believed it was a pivotal breakthrough for Apple. The company offered its employees a discounted opportunity to buy company stocks, but I remained indifferent to stock investments. Looking back, it was a foolish decision. The past experiences of failed blind investments and the fear instilled by the market collapse after the 2008 financial crisis, coupled with a general aversion to unfamiliar processes, played a role in my decision. I ignored the chance to become wealthy and own company shares. In retrospect, the year 2009 was an excellent time for stock investment. Blue-chip stocks were undervalued, and the Federal Reserve introduced quantitative easing and zero interest rates to revive the economy. However, my lack of knowledge, disinterest in investing, and irrational fear held me back. I vacillated between greed and fear, making poor decisions. Initially, I failed due to greed, and later I missed out on a great opportunity due to fear. Succumbing to greed and fear, I walked the path of ignorance. To break free from greed and fear, one must look at the reality objectively. Only then can one make the right decisions. Around 2010, I noticed a small sign in a restaurant that said they accepted Bitcoin. At the time, I thought of Bitcoin as something similar to PayPal, a convenient means of online money transfer. I already had a PayPal account, which facilitated easy and reliable transactions through its linkage with bank accounts. Bitcoin seemed like just another version of it. One day, I saw an advertisement on a large sign claiming that the value of the US dollar would continue to decline while Bitcoin would keep rising. I dismissed it as an amusing ad, not giving it much thought. My preconceived notion that Bitcoin was an uncertain and unnecessary alternative to PayPal, fueled by ignorance, prevented me from exploring this concept further. The human brain is filled with preconceptions and biases, and when faced with something new, it attempts to understand it through the framework of existing experiences or knowledge. This tendency facilitates quick decision-making without much effort. If we were still living as hunter-gatherers, this would be an advantageous feature for making swift and accurate decisions. However, when it comes to seizing new investment opportunities and making sound decisions, such speculation and bias can be fatal. The question posed in the previous chapter, "Who am I?" becomes the starting point here. Understanding how our brains work is crucial to breaking free from ignorance and greed, minimizing mistakes in decision-making. Looking back, I realized that I passed by countless opportunities. I did so due to busyness, ignorance, fear, laziness, and the belief that I wasn't an expert. Upon reflection, I followed my lazy brain, relying on speculation and bias. Daniel Kahneman argues that our brains are more likely to make correct decisions when we feel discomfort from cognitive bias. In other words, to make the right decisions in seizing new opportunities, we must constantly inquire about the world around us and cultivate our thinking skills. Otherwise, we might blindly follow the thoughts of others, missing out on the chance to develop our unique reasoning abilities. The switch from greed to fear and back again led me down a path of ignorance. It is only by breaking free from greed and fear that we can truly see the reality and make informed decisions. Successful investors are those who seized such opportunities,